Okay, so let me introduce our next speaker, Vitalii Ruban. Vitalii Ruban is working as a competence manager at Itera. He's a full stack developer with 8 years of experience. Also, he has some successful pet projects. And now let's listen to his talk, Pet Project for Fun and Profit.
Hello, everybody. Hi, happy to see you. Happy to be here. Very happy. So let's start the talk, right?
Yes, we can start.
Okay. Um, so again, my name is Vitalii, and today we will have a very light, non-technical talk about the pet projects. So just relax, take a cup of coffee or tea, and let's begin with the most important question for today. What is this dog doing on the first slide? And actually, this is a funny story about a man and a machine. I'm using PowerPoint to do a presentation, and there is a very nice tool called Designer. It can generate some designs for your slides based on the content you are providing. Probably it used some machine learning, but I'm not sure. And now just try to guess the keyword this machine learning took to generate the design. Yes, it was a pet. I have no idea, by the way, why this pet is a dog and not a cat, but still. And honestly, I was a bit disappointed. But after some thinking, I understood that unexpectedly, this tool was not that wrong. Because when we're talking about the pet project, like a regular pet, it requires your time, your care, and your love. It simply can't live without you, and especially when it is young. You need to spend the time on the pet project on a regular basis. If you have a pet, it definitely should sound familiar to you already, right? But if you will invest this to the pet project, you might get lots of fun. You might get new knowledge, new friends, new connections, and who knows, even it might be into some kind of the unicorn. If you remember, the Nginx was bought for something around $670 million, but it was created by the single person, at least from the very beginning, as a side project to make servant static files better. Pretty cool, right? But before we deep dive into the talk, let's finish some formalities. First of all, my name is Vitalii Ruban. I'm working as a competence manager in Itera, and I love WordPerfect and web security. I would definitely love to have a talk about them a bit later. Despite I'm saying that I'm a competence manager, I'm a completely technical person with a pretty good experience in the technical area. I have experience with JavaScript, .NET, SQL, and so on, so on. I was even a head of front-end department for some short period of time of my life. And yes, of course, I have a couple of pet projects, right? My first pet project was created something around 6 years ago. It was about the Angular and the Visual Studio. If you remember, might be something around 6 years ago, the Google team started creating a new Angular version 2, and we had some time when it was just a release candidate. And it was really, really hard and painful to start the new project, especially if you want to have it in the Visual Studio. So I created a template for the Visual Studio and published it as a template. And suddenly I got around 30,000 downloads for this project. And then I understood that pet project is something completely doable, by one person from the idea to completion. This was super inspiring to me, and I want to inspire you as well. That pet project is not something very hard. You can do it by yourself. The next pet project I've done was an one-line NPM package. Yeah, I'm not very proud that I published something like one line to the NPM, but still, it got something around 44 downloads, 1,000 downloads right now, and people continue using it just right now. It's very simple. It's just a numeric comparer, so nothing very fancy or nothing super smart, no rocket science, but such kind of thing is useful. Even such simple package might bring some use for other people. So you should never underestimate the small things. The things that you think are very simple, very obvious, they definitely might bring use to other people. So don't underestimate the small projects. And the last but not least, I've created a Chrome extension to enhance the user experience for one IT web portal. And the great thing I got from there is with the community support, you can do even better things that you can do alone. Honestly, I'm a very bad designer. I have no sense of beautiful, no sense at all. But with the community, we've created design. With the community, we created even a logo. And even some features was developed by the community. So this was very cool experience that we can collaborate together to achieve even better things. It was really cool. Of course, I have more projects. I have Twitter bot, I have my own blog, donation platform, and so on. But this is not very important. The more important things are that much more of my project was abandoned, especially things like games. Actually, I think that I'm doomed not to finish anything that looks like game. But nevertheless, that's why the main goal of this talk is to help you to finish your projects. I will share with you my findings, my mistakes, of course, my mistakes, and my experience I gained while developing the pet project. But actually, what is the pet project? Someone might say that the pet project is some kind of learning project, and partially you're right, because when doing the pet project, you will definitely learn a lot of new stuff. That's absolutely true. But I would disagree that the pet project is a kind of learning project, because while we are doing the learning project, our goal, our target is to learn. And with the pet project, that's not completely true. And someone also might say that the pet project is a kind of the demo project, but this again is not very true. When we are doing demo projects, we are trying to show how brilliant we are. We are creating perfect technical solution, 100% code coverage, solid, and so on, so on, so on. And when we are doing the pet project, this is not the main idea. But what is the main idea for the pet project? And now I will say something very arguable, but this is just from my own experience, and this is only my opinion. So pet project is something that is fun and should be released. I understand that this is not very tied together things, right? But for me, this is the main characteristics of the pet project. It should be fun and it should be released. And again, someone might say that this is very looks like a product, right? Because when we're talking about the release, it became like a product. But no, the main difference between the product and the pet project is that pet project is the theme that is only for you, not for others, right? When we're doing the product, we're thinking about our customers. We're trying to solve their pain, issues, and so on. But when we're doing the pet project, you are the main customer. You are the main person. But yes, later on, your pet project, again, might grow into some kind of product. And now we can go to the first step, how to become a superhero pet project, picking a theme. How to pick a theme? Actually, this is very important part. Really important, because with wrong theme, you can ruin your pet project just from the very beginning, unfortunately. Theme is absolutely and crazy important because, first of all, it's your source of inspiration. While developing the pet project, you will definitely face a lot of issues. Technical, like issues with code, how to develop to develop the feature, how to create an architecture, and so on, so on. Even how to release, if you will release to some unknown host for you, like Azure or maybe AWS or something like this. And the good theme will help you to overcome all of these difficulties, technical and non-technical. Because again, when we are doing the pet project, our main enemy is you. Because the main idea here is to overcome yourself, your boringness and your tired. And if you will pick a good theme, good theme will definitely help you and keep you inspired all the way. Another good point about the good theme is that it will attract other people, which can help you to finish the pet project or which might use your project. And just believe me, it's completely crazy and inspiring when people say, "Oh, such a good theme. I'm very happy to use it." This is very important. This is like fuel that will give you power to continue. So right theme is super important. But it's very easy to say, hey, come on, guys, you just need to pick a right theme. But how to pick a right theme? This is the question. And I have two answers for you. Answer number one is to pick something fun. Something fun. The best area to look for the theme is your hobby. Probably you already some hobbies like maybe fishing, maybe Arduino, maybe reading books, maybe anime, whatsoever. And this is absolutely perfect area to pick a first theme for you, because you are already a subject matter expert here, and this means that it will be much easier for you to create something interesting and useful. What's even more important, this area is already fun to you, right? So it will be looks like continue playing with your hobby. Very cool, very easy way to start. As an example, I can name a person who created an open API for the Chuck Norris Facts of Life. So you can just go to the internet and fetch some random facts about Chuck Norris. No use at all, I think, but very funny, very interesting. Another option is a pain. Anything that annoys you day by day might be a good area to take as a theme. If you find something annoying, there is a very huge probability that it's annoying for some other people. And just imagine, right now we have something like 6 billions of people using smartphones, and around 75% of them are using Android. So if you create an Android application, deploy it to the Google, you potentially might reach or something around 5 billions of people. That's really impressive. And if we are talking about the examples, yeah, we definitely need some examples. Right now, we have some issues, small issues with electricity in Kiev because there is a Russian war against Ukraine. And if you want to know, will you face some issues in your apartment, you need to go to a special website, you need to search, and then you will know about the electricity shortages. It's absolutely inconvenient, right? It would be much better to get some information in advance, right? Unfortunately, this is not possible yet, but this is perfect theme to pick it for the pet project. We can scrap this website and notify myself or you somehow through the, let's say, email or something like this. It's very easy and very cool. By the way, this theme was already taken something like 5 days ago. Now we have such kind of application. But when I did this presentation, it was not yet exist. So the main idea is, when you're picking a theme, never pick a theme that doesn't resonate with your heart. For pet projects, theme must be very close to you, to your heart and your soul. The next part is planning. And with planning, we have a very nice puzzle. Because usually when we are doing the pet project, we don't have much time to do them, right? We are not working full day by day, and so on, right? But we still need to plan somehow, right? And how to do this if we have very limited amount of time, but planning is still important. And to do this, I have the next recipe for you. Deal only with must-have features. So set only one goal you want to see on a prod. So for our example, it would be, I want to be notified in 1 hour before the electricity shortages. Only one goal, nothing more, nothing, only this. Then categorize all work as a must-have. Solution is useless without these features and nice to have. So just note them. Then implement or start working or start developing only must-have features. Only must-have features. But other features that you already noticed, just note them somewhere not to forget. Because after the first release, you will definitely try to expand the application. Again, as an example, we can create this application not only for myself, right? But for other people, we can change the notification method from email to some nice push notification to the phone, and so on, so on. There is always a huge amount of improvements you can do for your project. But for the first release, only must-have features and nothing else. So do only what your app doesn't make sense without. And if we're talking about the time, if you are planning the time for the first project, please don't plan more than 16 or maybe 20 hours, but better not more than 16 hours. And not more than 2 or 3 weeks. Probably you're already thinking, oh, 16 hours, it's just 2 days, like two working days. It's like a weekend. Come on, it's very, very small amount of time. Yes, you're right. But when doing the pet project, you will definitely spot some difficulties. And the regular rule says that all the time you plan should be increased triple. So these like 2 days will be converted into something like 6 days or even more. That's why for the first project, when you are not yet sure about your capacity, your mode of work, don't plan more than 16, 20 hours. And now let's go to the time management. First of all, that's also, again, pretty important. Dedicate your time. What I mean? Pet project is not something unserious. Pet project is a regular project you are dealing with. So you will definitely need the time to work on it. And the best option here is to say that, okay, for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I will work this amount of time at this time slot. It's even might be a good idea to say this to your relatives. Like, sorry guys, I will be, for the next 2-3 weeks, I will be a little bit busy this time. Please don't distract me. The idea is here to keep you focused as possible. Because everything we are doing right now on this first stage is to make sure that you will finish your pet project. This is very important to finish your pet project, and I will say a bit later why. So dedicate some time for your pet project. The second thing is regularity. Usually when I am doing the pet project, I am very inspired. I can work like 6 or even 8 hours without almost any break. I am very happy to work with. I love coding actually. But then, after the first day as a regular person, I will be tired and I will work only 2 hours. And on the third day, I will be completely exhausted and I will not do anything. Yes, this is like my own attitude, my own way of work, and your way of work will be definitely another way. But first of all, you need to understand how you are working without external customer. So it's much better to work on a regular basis, like 2 hours each day. It's much better than 6, 2, and 0, 0, 0, 0. And now let's go to my favorite part, which named pitfalls. First, and the best, no, not the best, but the first pitfall is underestimates. Probably you are brilliant developers here, developers, engineers, and I believe that together we can do anything we want. But for the first attempt, don't try to create a new Facebook. Don't take a huge task for the first attempt. The reason for that is that you need to finish your first pet project to get some confidence about yourself. When you will become more confident, when you will understand a bit more about yourself, your way of work, then you can take bigger task, whatever task actually. You want to take a Facebook, you want to create a new Facebook, feel free. New Google, feel free. But the confidence is a super very important on the first step. That's why for the first project, please pick something small. And you remember that even the small things might bring a lot of fun to you and use for other people. Don't underestimate the small things. The next pitfall is adding non-crucial features. Again, when I'm doing the pet project, I am always trying to improve it, always. Because you're in this project, you're in the domain, you are very keen to finish, to do it. So you will see the room to expand, improve, and so on, so on. It is very natural to start improving it just right now, when you're very excited with the pet project. Unfortunately, this will lead us to the loop of continuously improving features. But this will delay or even prevent the release. And you remember that the release for the first release for the first project is our primary focus and should be primary focus. So if you find nice things, nice improvement, just note it somewhere. And then you will be sure that you will implement it later. All of your efforts right now should be spent on the release. And this is my favorite pitfall that I'm always stepping into. When I start doing the pet project, I am thinking like, okay, seems I need some formatter like Prettier. Done. Okay, seems I need some linters. Yes, lint installed, done. Okay, I don't want to do this manually. I want to automate this. Husky, done. Oh, it works too slow. Let's make it faster with lean staged. Done. Oh, I am already tired. I am canceling. Done. For small projects, hard automatization takes more time than coding. So don't make it perfect. It's not a demo project. Make it work. This is the most important things. And infrastructure will help you later. You can do this even later. It's okay. You can even release it with FTP or FTTPS. But don't waste your efforts. Don't waste your time on these things before the first release. And the last, but the most important and dangerous pitfall, it's abandoning. I already talked about it. Abandoning is something that ruins your confidence. It's very dangerous because abandoning is ruining your future pet projects. Just imagine that you decide to create something very cool, but then you remember that, oh, I didn't finish any of my pet project. Might be I shouldn't even start this one. You see, abandoning of the first pet project ruins all other pet projects. So it's very dangerous. And the way how to overcome this abandoning is to make a deal, make a contract with yourself. Just imagine, we have a deal that I will not abandon, I will not cancel my pet project during the next 3 weeks. No matter what I will think about this later, I will not stop doing my pet project. I will do it day by day as agreed. After this, of course, you might double check your intention and continue or abandon. But for this period, you should have some kind of iron agreement, like gold agreement, that is unruinable. And there is a huge chance that after that you will say thank you to yourself that you didn't stop, because again, with some period of time you might understand that yes, the topic is still great. So for the first project should be 100% doable. That's super important. And the good question here might be like this: isn't this some kind of work, right? Because honestly, it a bit looks like work. You need to work regular, right? You need to do some commitment. You need to do to work day by day, and you even need to release it. So it's definitely very close to our work, right? But the biggest difference here is that pet project is something that very close to you, to your heart, to your soul. Pet project is like your own pet that you need to care and love. And if you will think from this perspective, you will understand that yes, pet project is not a work. It's your small pet. Let's summarize. Pet project is really great thing which can bring you lots of fun, lots of use, new knowledge, teammates, and friends. However, pet project requires responsibility, commitment, your time, and your efforts. Definitely. Pet project always means release. And for the first pet project, we will not take more than 16 hours of work, and we are taking the only must-have features. And the most important thing is that with a pet project, we should have a fun. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thanks, Vitaly. It was a great talk. I really enjoyed it. From me, personal respect to those people who have resource to do some pet projects after work. It's wonderful. I see we have a question. Hello, Vitaly. Thanks for the presentation. I have a learning path and was thinking about a pet project, but instead I'm creating an e-commerce shop for a friend of mine, and he is a real existing business and will release it and get paid for it. Is it counts as a pet project or a commercial experience?
Very good question. The main difference is if you had a fun with it, I would say that it was a pet project. But just imagine we have a pet project, right? We release it as I released like Chrome extension, and then I'm starting getting money on from it. Is it still a pet project? Is it a commercial experience? Actually, it's both. It's a pet project that was converted to the to the commercial project, to the product. So I would say that you have experience with both. You have a pet project and a commercial experience.
Nice, the best of two worlds.
Absolutely.
Have you some experience on promoting some project that became successful, and maybe you collected some donations for that? This is interesting.
Yeah, the promotion. Look, I'm not sure that this is for everybody, but it's definitely for me. When I'm finishing the pet project, when it's released, I always want to promote it. Like, I don't know why, but for me, it's naturally. So yes, I have experience with promotion. I used some platforms. Uh, what I've used. GitHub is not very good for this. Medium also not very good. Very little audience if you're starting from scratch. But Reddit is a good point to start. And if your pet project is some kind of special, like a game or something like this, it's very good to find specialized platform, because the audience of that platform already keen on the topic you want to share with them. So I will advise you definitely to promote. Actually, the promotion leads to the new users, and new users are the source of your inspiration while with the pet project. So definitely, it means that with the new users, you will improve your pet project. It's super cool. I would definitely advise you to try this. Super cool, really.
Thanks. Have you open sourced some of your pet projects? Because you were speaking
Oh,
about extensions,
yeah, yeah.
NPM
I,
package.
I'm just thinking. If I'm not no, no. Okay. Almost all of my pet projects are open sourced. Almost. I have maybe one or two that was out of the open source, but almost all
Cool.
of them
And
are
did it?
free to use.
Nice, nice.
Yes, please.
Would be great to have a links for some just to look at. And also,
Yeah.
did it help you, or maybe there is an opinion if you open sourcing something, so it gets responsibility. You taking responsibility to support it,
Oh.
and so on. What is your story?
It's very important topic, and definitely I could talk about it for one extra hour. Yes, it's a responsibility, and I understood this with my Chrome extension, because, as I told, community came to me and say, "Oh, it's great, but we would love to see the next features. The design, you're a bad designer. You're not a bad designer, but you're a bad designer." Okay, yes, I know that I'm a bad designer. Absolutely, I know. And then, yes, you are start leading the project with the community. But anyway, the important thing here is that you're still an author. You're still the person who created this pet project. So yes, it's your responsibility, but still, you're the chief. This is important to understand, that it's your life, your pet project, and you're the chief here. And if you understand that the community's request somehow ruins or influence your life in a way that you are not happy with, you are free to say stop.
I completely agree, because it must be fun.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think we can continue to discuss in Discord in audio chat. We have a little break now, and after that, we will listen to the final talk, full stack components. Thank you, Vitalii. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.